Good morning, everybody. Since there's a bunch of people out there who aren't really sure how the advanced loot window works, how many things it can do, etc., I decided to make this quick video to hopefully give people a better idea of what each button does. So, the first thing is that this column here with the little dice is only available to the party leader. If you mark that checkbox, that item will automatically start to roll as soon as it drops, no matter where it's found. So every future mob killed that drops this particular item will automatically start that timer rolling out. Beyond that, anything marked as ND is a need roll, GD is a greed roll, and no means you're passing on it. If you want to mark something to always need, such as blue diamonds or other useful items, you can mark the AN box, and that will automatically mark the item as need for you every time in the future. Same with AG, which is always greed, and then NV, which will never roll on the item and will mark it no. If you want to change that in the future, you'll have to go into your filters. You can search for the item name, and you can change them here. You can either change it to AN for always need, AG for always greed, NV for never. You can set it to start or stop doing the automatic roll, or you can remove the filter entirely. Beyond that, you can right-click an item to set it to free grab, so any player can take it out of the loot window at their will. Leave on corpse, self-explanatory, or you can give the item manually. In addition, the question mark here will start an item to roll, but will not automatically hand it out once the roll is completed. You'll be able to click the Manage button here, which will show you what each player in your party has checked for need or greed, if anything. You can manually change it if you're the party leader, assuming they haven't marked it as no. If necessary, you can click the button again to stop the roll. That will put it back to not rolling out at all. Once the roll has completed, if nobody has marked anything on it, you can click the button here inside the loot window, and it will ask again if anybody wants that item. So if everybody marked something as no and changed their mind, you can change it by having them roll it again there. The advanced options button also has the auto roll, which is the same as the dice here. You can hand out one or more copies of the item to an individual person. So I could give one person, or rather one item to my bard, one item to Ellie, if there were multiple of that item available. You can also use the Set All To button down here to any of these filters. So if every item that dropped you want to mark as need, or greed, or no, I would suggest against doing so, as that can be problematic in your future in other groups, but your choice. You can set everything to automatically ask and roll, which is the same as hitting the checkbox. You can set everything to automatic free grab, which will allow players to simply click this hand to take the item themselves. Or you can also set everything to automatically leave on corpse, or everything set all to a single player will send everything in this part of the window to that player. You can also click leave all to simply leave everything on the corpse. Up here is pretty much the same. This is loot that you personally have already won. You can click the check mark to loot it, X to leave it here. X here will make it so that you will never loot the item, same as clicking NV over here. So if it's a piece of junk loot that you don't ever want, you can click that. And same here, AN and AG will apply those loot rules for your character in the future. There's a couple other settings that you can set. You can set it to automatically split coin, so whenever a mob dies, usually in modern content, they drop somewhere between 10 and 100 plat. This will automatically split it between your party members. Using the advanced looting system at all, so if you just absolutely cannot stand this system, you can disable it entirely, and then you'll have to loot things from the corpses by hand. The other options, generally, most people won't use. Auto-looted lore items, auto-show the loot window. This makes it so that whenever something new that you haven't marked yet pops up, then the loot window will automatically open. Or rather, that's what this checkbox does. So if you have every item that drops in an area, like let's say I was going through Kinos Hills here and just butchering rats for whatever reason, every single rat, if I've marked everything as no, greed, need, etc., will automatically roll that for me in the future, so I don't have to mark them again. The loot window won't pop up. It'll just handle the loot entirely without even letting me know. You can also use auto loot all or master looter, yada yada. But that's a quick rundown. If anybody has any questions, feel free to send me a tell in game, and I'll be happy to explain it further. Hopefully this little guide helps somebody. Have a good day. As a quick edit to the end of the last part of this video, any item that you don't mark to automatically roll will sit in the advanced loot window for approximately 15 minutes before it starts to roll out by itself. So if you're the party leader, if possible, especially if you're sitting at the same camp for a long time, try to mark everything to automatically roll at least once, so it'll always do that again in the future, and that'll start a 30-second roll instead of sitting in there for 15 minutes. It can save a lot of time.